Guys, the tension at Turning Woods has reached a boiling point that I honestly did not see coming, and it is making me nervous just thinking about what is happening behind those sterile, quiet doors. Nina is playing a game of chess with people who've already burned the board, and if you ask me, she is way out of her league this time. We have seen her try to manipulate Brennan, thinking she is the smartest person in the room, but the air in that facility feels heavy with deception, and I have a sneaking suspicion that our girl is being played by someone even more dangerous than she could ever imagine. If you ask me, the atmosphere in Port Charles lately is just suffocating, and it all seems to be circling back to the shadows cast by the past. We remember the history, the endless cycles of betrayal, and how one wrong move can bring an entire empire crashing down. When I look at the way Nina is moving right now, I see a woman desperate to hold on to some semblance of control, but she is blinded by her own ego. It is like watching a slow motion car crash, guys. She is using the information she has on Sidwell as a weapon against Brennan, but she is completely oblivious to the fact that the walls have ears. We are looking at a situation where the hunter is about to become the hunted, and I am honestly on the edge of my seat waiting for the mask to slip. Let us talk about the cold, hard reality of Brennan being trapped in this corner by Nina. I mean, do you see how he is reacting? There is a flicker of genuine fear behind those eyes, but there is also something else, something calculating. When Nina lends in, whispering threats about exposing the truth regarding Sidwell, she thinks she is securing her future, but she is actually lighting the fuse of a bomb that is going to take everyone down with it. I have been analyzing these scenes over and over, and guys, the way the light catches their faces tells a different story. Brennan is not just a pawn. He is a man who knows exactly how to make people disappear, and Nina is giving him every reason to start with her. We are watching a masterclass in psychological warfare, but I fear that Nina has forgotten the most basic rule of the game. Never underestimate a man with nothing left to lose. And then we have Elliot. Can we just stop for a second and talk about how creepy this new guy is? He is just lurking in the background, acting like a simple nurse, but I know better. We have seen the way he watches them, the way his gaze lingers just a second too long when he thinks no one is looking. If you ask me, he is not at Turning Woods to provide care. He is there as a watchdog for someone much more powerful, likely reporting back to the very people Nina is trying to outmaneuver. It gives me chills, honestly. We are watching a spy infiltrate the most intimate moments of these characters, and the fact that Nina has no idea she is being recorded or monitored just makes the whole thing feel like a nightmare unfolding in real time. I am telling you, the betrayal is coming from inside the house, and it is going to be absolute carnage when the truth finally surfaces. I have been thinking a lot about the weight of these secrets. When you spend your life building walls of lies, eventually the foundation gives way. Nina is so caught up in her own narrative that she cannot see the cracks forming around her. We have seen her navigate the murky waters of Port Charles before, but this feels different. The stakes with Sidwell are not just about money or reputation, they are about survival. When I see her walking through those halls, looking so poised and confident, I just want to yell at my screen, tell her to look behind her. The power dynamic is shifting, and if she continues down this path, she is going to lose everything she has worked so hard to rebuild. We have seen the patterns before, and this feels like the end of her current era of stability. Let us dig deeper into the psychology of this betrayal. Why would Nina risk it all? It is that insatiable need for validation, that desperate attempt to prove that she is the one running the show. But if you ask me, she is just a cog in a much larger machine. When she confronted Brennan, her voice was steady, but I noticed her hands the slight tremor that gave away her anxiety. She is putting on a performance, but the audience is starting to see the cracks. We know the history of these characters, how they carry their trauma like armor, and Nina is no different. But this time, the armor is failing her. She is trying to use the secrets of a dangerous criminal to save herself, which is essentially inviting the wolf into the living room and expecting it to sit on the sofa and behave. Now, Think about what happens when Sidwell finds out. We know how he operates. He is not the type to sit back and let a woman like Nina dictate his future. If he gets word that she is using his name as leverage, he will likely burn Turning Woods to the ground figuratively, or maybe even literally. And guys, where does that leave our favorite characters? Right in the crosshairs of a man who makes common thugs look like choir boys? I am genuinely worried that we are heading toward a climax that will leave the hospital in ruins. And let us be real, the medical staff has enough to deal with without having to navigate a war zone of blackmail and corporate espionage. The sheer audacity of these characters to act like they can control such volatile elements is both impressive and utterly terrifying to watch. I have been obsessing over the connection between Elliot and the larger threat. What if he is the missing piece of the puzzle that links all these disparate threads? We know that in Port Charles, no one is ever who they say they are. The nurse role is the perfect cover, allowing him to listen in on private conversations that were never meant for anyone else's ears. I think we are looking at a long-term play here, one that has been orchestrated for months. When I consider the timing, the way everything is converging at this facility, it feels like a trap that has been set with surgical precision. And we are just sitting here watching them walk right into it, one step at a time. It is a slow burn thriller, and the pacing is absolutely killing me, but I cannot look away. If you ask me, the most tragic part of this whole setup is the blind arrogance. Nina believes that because she has information, she has leverage, but information is only as good as the person holding it, and currently, she is holding a double-edged sword. Every time she challenges Brennan, she reveals a little bit more of her hand, and that is a fatal error. We are seeing her unravel, even if she is trying to hide it behind that icy exterior. I suspect that by the time she realizes the true nature of the threat, it will be far too late to retreat. She is already committed. She is already in the deep end, and I am starting to think that there is no rescue mission coming for her this time. Think about the emotional fallout if this all blows up. Think about how many people will be caught in the blast radius. It is not just about Nina or Brennan anymore. It is about everyone connected to them. If you ask me, we are looking at the potential for a complete restructuring of the power dynamics in town. And I am here for it. I love a good takedown, but I also have a soft spot for the chaos that ensues. We are watching the gears turn, hearing the creaking of the machinery, and knowing that something is about to snap. It is that feeling you get right before a thunderstorm hits, that static in the air that makes your skin crawl. That is the current vibe of the show, and I am completely obsessed with it. I have been looking at the latest snippets of the script, and guys, the intensity is just rising every single day. The way the writers are weaving in these layers of surveillance and manipulation is genius. It forces us, the audience, to constantly question what is real and what is just. Another layer of deception. When we see a character like Elliot, we have to ask ourselves, who is he really working for? Is he a lone wolf, or is he part of a larger syndicate that we haven't even seen yet? The possibilities are endless, and that is what keeps us coming back. We are detectives in our own right, piecing together the clues that the characters are too blinded to see. Let us consider the possibility that Nina is being set up. What if the information she found on Sidwell was planted specifically to lure her into this exact position? That would mean someone has been tracking her movements for a very long time, anticipating her every move. If that is true, then Nina is not just an active player, she is a target. And if she is a target, her shelf life at Turning Woods is probably shorter than we think. I get chills just thinking about the potential for a dramatic exit, or, better yet, a complete transformation into someone even more cutthroat than she already is. This is the kind of stuff that makes General Hospital the best show on television. I want to focus for a moment on the dialogue. The exchanges between Nina and Brennan are so sharp they could cut glass. They are dancing around the truth, using subtext and veiled threats, and it is just delicious to watch. I find myself shouting at the screen, telling them to just spit it out, but that is the magic of it, right? The restraint. The way they hold back just enough to keep the tension at a maximum. If they were to just come out and say what they were thinking, the scene would end in 5 seconds. But they are playing this long game, and we are the lucky ones who get to watch the slow burn play out over the coming weeks. We need to keep our eyes on the prize, guys. The real story here is the convergence of these secrets. When the truth about Sidwell finally breaks, it is going to be like a wrecking ball hitting a glass house. There will be no hiding, no more backroom deals, just the raw, ugly truth exposed for everyone to see. I expect nothing less than complete and utter catastrophe for everyone involved, and I honestly cannot wait to see who is left standing when the dust finally settles. It is going to be a bloodbath of reputations, and I am going to be right here breaking it all down for you guys every step of the way. As we look ahead, I have to wonder if anyone can actually stop this train from derailing. Is there a hero in this story, or are we just watching a bunch of villains fight over the scraps? If you ask me, the line between hero and villain has been blurred for a long time, and that is what makes these storylines so compelling. We see the humanity in Nina, the desperation in Brennan, and the cold efficiency in Elliot, and we are forced to sympathize with all of them at different times. It is a messy, complicated, and utterly addictive web of drama, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We are in for a wild ride, and I suggest you buckle up because the next few episodes are going to be absolutely brutal. So, where does this leave us? We are watching a high-stakes game where the players are constantly changing, the rules are being rewritten, and the threat is growing by the second. If you ask me, Nina is heading for a fall, and she is taking everyone down with her. Maybe if she spent less time playing nurse and more time watching her back, she might actually have a chance. But let us be honest, where would the fun be in that? Just remember, in this town, the only thing more dangerous than a secret is the person holding it. Stay tuned, because I have a feeling the next chapter is going to be the most explosive one yet. And really, if you are looking for a moral, just take note. If you are going to play a dangerous game, maybe don't do it in a place where the nurses are all likely double agents for international criminal syndicates.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.